Welcome to my comparison of my sim model of a 116 trophy car with the real thing. This time we're doing Donington Grand Prix circuit. I'm going to play this video all the way through and then we'll break it down a bit. Probably the thing to watch are the pedal pressures on the left there. You can see in the top one you've got brake and throttle, and in the bottom one you've got the same thing, same colours, red and green. Also, probably the speed indicator is the other important one there. So this is all looking quite good, but you can see I'm going much faster in the real life than I'm going in the sim. I had to do a better line through there in the sim actually. The times, the resulting lap times are almost identical, so you'll see at the end we do the comparison of the lap times. So I must be making up and losing time here and there, but it's pretty close as you can see from the track position. I'm driving fairly consistently in both. You know, the lines are the same. There's a few minor points. You can see here I'm perhaps out a bit wider there in real life, but you know, not enough to make a great deal of difference. One thing I have noticed is the brake pressure. I find it really difficult to modulate the brake pressure effectively with my sim pedal setup compared to in real life. You can see I'm trail braking all the way into the apex there in real life, and I don't quite manage that with the sim. So I'm going faster up here in the sim. The speeds even out a bit, but yeah, a little bit different. Missed the apex there in the sim, and I'll talk about Goddard's, that final corner, in a second when we come to break this down. Okay, so you can see actually I'd forgotten the times are almost identical, aren't they? 2:03.80 in real life you see up there on the left hand side, and down the bottom on the right you see it says 2:03.80 there. I've left the audio of both the sim and from my camera in the real car. I've mixed both together into the track because you can hear the differences in gear change points. They're only very minor differences actually, as it turns out. So let's now go on and look at some of the sort of interesting parts of the comparison. Okay, let's start by looking at the braking, turning, apex and exit points for turn 1. I think I take my foot off the throttle halfway across this pit lane. Yeah, there you go. Okay, the blip of the throttle where I'm changing down. I have trouble modulating the brakes there. You can see I was hard on the brakes in the sim, much lighter in real life. I'm back on the throttle way before the apex in the sim, which is interesting. Probably because I broke, because I over-braked into that corner. Apex was about the same. Exit point, wow, yeah, look at that. That's really close. That's not bad at all. Okay, let's move on to the next corner. Okay, so I've gone flat out through the next section. This is a flat out corner, which is part of the Craner Curves, the left-hander. Line looks exactly the same. One thing that's interesting is much faster going into that in real life. Yeah, that's a bit weird. Okay, starting to brake about the same point. Look again at the brake pressures. Much too hard on the sim. Watch the steering input on the real video. Look at that. That's probably because I've turned in too early and I'm understeering badly. But I come out about the same point in both videos. I mean, that's pretty close, within a metre or two. I'm going to go round through Starkey's, this next left-hander. We'll see how that plays out. I've stayed fairly much to the left. Same through Starkeys, we're going flat out, you know, trying to carry as much speed up this hill. It's a real drag going up this hill. And then the exit point, looking at the Marshall post on the right, that's about the same. Yeah, okay, consistent stuff. Okay, coming in a bit tight into Schwantz curve there, or yep, still flat out on the throttle. Come off the throttle slightly earlier in real life. Again, brake modulation's a problem. I'm just sort of very lightly touching the brakes in real life, and I broke really quite hard. That's maintenance throttle through there just to try and keep it stable. Looks about the same, apart from the braking. Exit point, did better in the sim. I've come out a bit wide in the and a bit early in real life, but not bad. Now we're coming up to Coppice. You can see it's a blind apex. We come up the hill, you've got to turn in early enough. Let's see what happens to the throttle and the brake. I'm off the throttle slightly earlier in real life. Better job at modulating the brake, but quite honestly you just brush the brakes to get the car to turn at that point, because you're in third gear, it's not going that fast. I mean, it's going, you know, 100 kph, but it's yeah, you don't need to, it's not a heavy braking area. The line round here looks pretty much the same. I think the two laps have got slightly out of sync here, but I'm running out wider in real life than I did in the sim. I know consciously in the sim I was running out wide on occasions. Now we're coming down to the S's, and you see this hump in the road here. I was braking just after that. So let's have a look at the traces, throttle trace. Yep, pretty much the same. Very close. Hold the brake a little bit. Way over braking in the sim again. Now you do get on the throttle as you cross the apex here. It's to get the back to dip, you know, to squat, so that you don't oversteer. So hard on the throttle going round there. That's pretty much the same. Same line. Same exit point. Yeah, again, that looks good. Bearing in mind, I think, as I said, the videos are slightly out of sync. Now we're coming down to the Melbourne hairpin. We're going flat out in fourth gear. What I try to do is stay left and then take a late turning to get a late apex. But I have a feeling in real life there's a slower car on the inside. Yeah, Jonathan there. So I'm going to have to go across and more V the corner rather than take the late apex. So you can see I'm coming across there. I'm doing pretty much the same in the sim actually, which is not what I normally do. No, they are slightly different. You can see I've got back on the accelerator in the sim much earlier. I'm not sure that's realistic, I don't know, but speeds are vastly different. You know, it's 10 kph there at one point there through the apex of the corner. I'm gaining speed now coming up the hill in real life. So we're coming up to another hairpin called Goddard's, and this was the one that I wanted to talk about because I think I've identified an issue with my model, my sim model. Pretty much identical speeds here. Let's have a look at the braking points. Yeah, let's flat out and come off the throttle. Yeah, pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. Hard brake into this. Okay, turning in pretty much the same. Now you can see I've missed the apex in the sim and the car is understeering. And what I notice is if you get on the throttle in the sim, I mean you would get understeer if you get on the throttle too early anyway, but I'm still getting a sort of overemphasized understeer at slow speeds. And I think I need to try some changes to the setup to see if I can get it to more closely match my real car. But now we're coming down the start finish straight and that's it. So how do we compare the two? What do we think about the two? Well, I would say that the track model's really good. I have to say that I'd been practicing on the sim a lot before I went back to Donington, and I haven't been there for more than a year. And when I first went on the track, I felt that it didn't feel the same. But actually, I think that's just the 3D aspects of, driving in real life versus driving in the sim. The car model, I think, still needs some work. I think the gear changes and the engine power and all that are completely okay. The bigger problem, I think, is this issue with understeering slow speed corners, which I'm not getting to the same extent in real life. Okay, hope you found that interesting, and I'll catch you on the next one.